Weekdays at Bernie segment, a new study by the Conservative Media Research Center. It says that so far in the campaign, 432 minutes were devoted to Trump controversies by the evening network newscasts. Just 105 minutes were spent on Hillary Clinton's controversies, including the big email investigation. Here's what the networks were primarily interested in: Mrs. Clinton's email situation, Trump supporters and violence, Trump criticizing the Mexican-American judge, Trump moving left, not conservative enough, and Trump allegedly exhibiting sexist behavior. Joining us now from North Carolina, purveyor Bernard Goldberg.com. Mr. Gold, before we get to that, you listen to the Kirsten Powers debate. You're our media guy. Van Jones, he's a commentator on CNN. He goes out and he throws this stuff out. It's totally false. Doesn't it? You know, who has responsibility for that?
Yeah, I've heard this argument for a while now. Here's my take on it. Are there Christians who do terrible things? Yes, but they don't do it in the name of Christianity, except in rare occasions. And by the way, if the Orlando killer had not, if he had called 911 and not pledged his allegiance to ISIS, but pledged his allegiance to the Christian coalition, that would be the reason he did it, his religion. Yeah. But when the religion is Islam, when it's a Muslim who does it, the politically correct left wants to downplay the religious aspect.
Okay, but focus in on this guy Jones. There he is on CNN, okay, night after night after night. And he comes out and he gives you a stat, all right? And the stat is false. And I was trying to get across, and Kirsten said, well, he thought it was real. No, we have a brain room here that Kirsten has access to, that you have access to, everybody has access to. So when we give a stat, we throw it through the system. And they actually say yes or no, right or wrong. CNN has the same thing. They have, every news organization has what they call fact checkers, all right? But he didn't fact check. He throws it out. It's like, okay, fine. It's not fine. All right, forget it. It just rankles me. Now,
right.
I'm not surprised by this MRC study, because Trump is new and Trump is controversial and Trump says all kinds of things. Of course he's going to get covered more.
Exactly. This is a list of the 20 top politically controversial statements measured by minutes devoted to them by the networks. Of course Trump is going to dominate the list. This isn't evidence or necessarily evidence of liberal media bias. It's evidence that every time Donald Trump opens his mouth, he creates a controversy.
Yeah, and it's good for ratings, and that's where television news is going to go.
Right. Now, could the networks have devoted more time to Hillary's controversies? Yes. I mean, could they have devoted more time to the fact that she delivered speeches for hundreds of thousands of dollars to Wall Street bankers who want favors from a President Clinton? Yes, they could have.
But hasn't that been established?
But still, when Donald Trump does all these things that you mentioned, you know, that's legitimate news.
Okay,
and that's why he's on the list.
I want to talk about Hillary for the next 90 seconds that we have with you. You say the Wall Street speeches for big bucks, and she won't release the transcripts of the speeches. What else do we do? We can't. What else are we going to do? We can't go break in her house. I guess I could. In Chappaqua and search around and try to get them.
But the point the Media Research Center was making in their report, in their study, was that these things are legitimate news. Donald Trump does create controversy, and it's legitimate news. But their point is, why haven't the networks also devoted time to these other things? And that's just one example. That's a fair question. That's a fair question.
But I think most of them have. They don't just do, but there's nowhere to go with it, like the email thing. We don't have subpoena powers. We don't know what happened. We have to rely on the FBI, and they haven't really put it into top gear yet.
Can I give you one legitimate example of media bias? And the Media Research Center pointed this out. I think this is interesting. It's going to sound lighthearted, but it's serious. Hillary Clinton was on a radio program a few months back, well, I think last month, actually. And the subject got around somehow to outer space and aliens and stuff. And the host of the show said, do you believe in aliens from outer space? And she said, I don't know, but, ready? There are enough stories out there that I don't think everybody is just sitting in their kitchen making these stories up, okay? Now, That's what only ABC News, only ABC
Yeah, they all
News
should
was the
have
only
covered,
network.
Yeah. I didn't even know that, so you tell me.
To cover it, okay?
That
And they
should
did
have
it in a fun, lighthearted way.
All right, I gotta go.
If Donald Trump, 5 seconds, if Donald Trump
said it,
had said he
everywhere.
believes
Right.
in aliens from outer space, lead story in all the networks.
Okay, but what you don't know is that Hillary's ahead of Trump in the Venus polling. About, I think it's 42-38. Bernie Goldberg, everybody.